Well, after a week off last week, welcome to the last regular season edition of After Hockey Linger with Lewis and the Ginger.
That one might stick.
That one might stick. As we do a little bit of post-game analysis. And Lewis, we've said it a lot in commentary. You got a 3-2 game coming into the third against the bottom of the league team. You imagine Jamie Elson's not particularly happy. Indeed, he was up here in the gantry looking at a couple of the goals. But from our perspective, the Pitbulls started well. They finished well in the third. They had chances in the second. It's still a game where I thought they were reasonably professional.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to go out on a limb and make some excuses for them. The ice obviously wasn't ideal with the Zamboni breaking down during the warm-up or before the warm-up. So yeah, there was a few times in that second period in particular where the pucks just didn't go to sticks, just ran away from players or didn't run to players. And yeah, it's how you adapt to that, and maybe MK adapted a little bit better. They were more clinical than the Pitbulls in that second period. But yeah, generally over 60 minutes, it was a professional performance, something we've seen from the Pitbulls a lot recently. Yes, the game was closer than it needed to be after two, and they probably could have killed the game in that second. But they've come out. Bailey Hine Pitcher scores a big goal early in that third period to not kill the game at 4-2, but it really halted any momentum that MK could have taken from that 2-0 second period that they had.
So let's talk fast start, because so often we've done these this season and talked about a slow start for the Pitbulls. So credit where credit is due. They came out, they're playing the bottom of the league side, but playoff position is still up for grabs. Jamie Elson obviously wanted his team to set a tone, and I thought they did that.
Yeah, they did. They really did. And it's Richie Hargreaves scoring the first goal. He's maybe not lit the lamp as much as he maybe would like to. I was talking to Mike Hargreaves in the week. I'm sure he'll be delighted for me to say this on air. When they've been playing together, this is the first time that Mike would have outscored Rich, barring a miracle from Rich in Streatham tomorrow night. So Rich maybe, as I said, not getting as many points as he'd like, but he's influenced the team well. He's been doing all sorts on and off the ice, and yeah, tonight I thought he had a really good game. He looked fitter than maybe he has done at times this season, and yeah, scored that big opening goal and really set the tone for what was to come in that first period.
There's a few things I want to bring up with you that we talked about in commentary, but maybe the guys don't watch the game back. Let's talk Loris Taylor, because sometimes I feel that you and I, hard on him, tough love. It's because he can be such an impactful player. He's got that great shot. He can be a real difference maker at this level. And maybe post-Christmas it's been a little bit slow for him. We don't know if there's any knocks or any reasons for that. Tonight he was a dominant force. And if you can get your captain going like that, going into the playoffs, my word, the Pitbulls have a player on their hands. Yeah,
and I think, as you say, being the captain, I think you're sort of expecting the player to lead from example, and maybe that's sort of you're holding him to higher expectations than others. And yeah, tonight, it's not just the offensive zone work tonight. We know what he can do in the offensive zone. We know the shot he's got, and we know he's got good hands. But he was throwing the body around in his own zone. He's killed penalties a few times in recent weeks. I think he was out there a couple of times tonight. His all-round game has looked much better in the last couple of weeks. And as you say, your captain leading by example. If you can get him going, get that shot going, and not many goalies are going to want to be facing his shot.
We talk about playoff hockey. We've been talking about it for a while, from NHL hockey in North America to NIHL hockey in Cribs Causeway. Sometimes your top lines, your top players can cancel each other out, and it becomes the job of the role players to become playoff heroes. Aaron Moody, man of the match tonight. I thought he was superb. Ian Coleman got his goal. Superb. You mentioned Richie Hargreaves. Carter Lloyd skated well all night. Those role players could be so important come playoff time.
Yeah, and you sort of look at other teams around the league, and okay, you can take out Streatham because they're so far clear. Chelmsford, they got that line with Lashek and Ailing on, Bartlett. You look at Solent, where Elliot Lewis, they scored 9 tonight. Elliot Lewis scores 7. The Pitbulls don't have that reliance. They don't have a player that's going to go and score 7 for them in a game. I don't think Solent are going to have a player that's going to score 7 for them again. I think Elliot Lewis got 6 and 7 in 2 different games this season. But yeah, that's incredibly unlikely, especially come playoff time when you're playing your evenly matched sides. You're not going to have many 9-8s in the playoffs. So yeah, when it comes down to it, and you've got players like Liam Coleman, Aaron Moody, even Bailey Hine Pitcher. Like, how many teams is he going to be on a third line for? Like, it's very few. He's a very talented guy, and it's really good to see him stepping up. Again, another player stepping up as we edge toward playoff times. I think 7 or 8 goals now this season. Yeah, just that depth could be key for the Pitbulls down the stretch.
Bailey, that was remiss of me not to mention you. Watch the commentary back. We talk about you a lot, particularly your picture-perfect goal. On the back end tonight, Stu Bates comes back in. I think everyone knows what I think of him, a real calm veteran presence back there. I'd like to see him in the lineup more. But I want to give a mention to Joe Morris. His birthday tonight, he celebrated with family and friends behind the goal after the game. He does such a good job and such a leadership job, an unsung job every time he takes the ice. He takes the body, he clears his net, his first pass is good, he can bring an offensive side if he needs to. He's a real team leader.
Yeah, obviously he takes power play minutes, takes penalty minutes. We talk about the steady decor that the Pitbulls have got, and yes, they're steady, but you can think of a couple of times for each player this season where they've made mistakes that have cost goals. Can't think of that with Joe Morris this season. He's been phenomenal throughout the season, and just so steady on that back end. And as you say, he has that ability he's got a good shot on him on the power play. We've seen it a couple of times. He can run that power play if needed. And yeah, just again, for a good two-way defenseman, he's obviously taking first pair minutes with Bailey Perry at the moment, and those two seem to complement each other really well at the moment.
And Lewis, just finally, we are playing playoff hockey now. There's a one-off game for the Pitbulls tomorrow. If they get a point against Streatham, they can improve their playoff seeding. Then, of course, it is playoff tie next weekend. At the moment, it's Invicta. That could change. But this is the most exciting time of the year. This is what players play for. This is what us as fans enjoy. You starting to get a tingle of excitement?
Yeah, it's after that Invicta game on Sunday, it was a long journey. You go and win 5-1, and it's a bit invictory, shall I say. You know, especially when you come into this weekend knowing that you're probably 60-70% sure you're going to be playing Invicta. Obviously, it relies on results today that haven't gone the Pitbulls' way to stop that, or tomorrow where they have to go to Streatham and pick up a point. You know, you do really get that excitement. You go to Invicta, you go to Kent on that Saturday night, and then you welcome them back to your own barn. And yes, it's not ideal circumstances with the playoffs for the division below here on the Saturday and the Sunday, but I think that Jamie Elson's happy to have that game on the Sunday, the second leg at home, a sold out, well, hopefully sold out arena. It isn't sold out at the time of me saying this. Hopefully by the time it goes out, it is. That'd be nice. But yeah, that atmosphere. We heard the MK Harrison Good there. He was the interview with him saying what a great venue it is to play, what a great atmosphere it was, and it needs to be again next Sunday night.
Well, I'm so excited about playoff ice hockey, I might even ask Mrs. Donovan whether I can have a pass for Saturday night. We shall see, though, fingers crossed. But, Lewis, last game of the regular season, this is my final question, I promise. Yes, we've got more to come next weekend, but we talked about it in commentary. I think it's fair to talk it again now. We've been a small part of the journey. We've been privileged to be a part of the journey. This has just been fantastic, phenomenal since October. Richie Hargreaves, Mike Hargreaves, Jamie Elson, everyone involved with the Bristol Pitbulls. Take a bow.
Yeah, for a moment, you had me worried. I thought you were going to ask for like a player of the season then, and I was like, oh, really,
that's next week.
Really put me out on the spot. Yeah, there's so much work that's gone on here. For a start, Planet Ice themselves getting the rink ready. Obviously, they were running a bit behind at the start of the season, missed the start of the season, to then get it going and have the rink to this level now where you've got 1,500 people in it. 9 out of 10 times this season, this year, something along those lines. And then, yeah, to your coaching staff, Jamie, the others, Andrew Lloyd, Mark Perry, people that have been on that bench throughout the season. So, yeah, Richie, Mike, Graham, the photographer who does so much, Becky Osman in the scorer's desk. And, yeah, it's just such hard work goes into it. And sometimes maybe people don't realise the amount of work that people go in or the amount of work that people have to put in. And, yes, it's really good to see them rewarded with the play on the ice and at worst a third place finish, which at the start of the season I think everyone involved in the club would have bit your hand off for.
And Lewis, you've been pretty good company as well. So we'll do it all again one more time next weekend for playoff hockey. But for now, from Lewis and myself, enjoy your week and thanks for joining us on FTA Sport.